Yes.
Hazur, now I'll ask Mr. Al-Haj Muhammad Umar Chisti to come and ask his question. He's from Delhi, India,
Right.
and he's staying in East London.
Right.
Mr. Al-Haj
Chishti. Yes.
Chisti. Mr.
Please.
Al-Haj Muhammad Umar Chisti.
When you said, Mr. Al-Haj Chishti, everybody is looking for a beard.
Yes, I thought also so.
So that is why we fail to recognize in him the Chishti, you're talking about.
He wants me to read
Okay.
this one.
Would you kindly sit down here on the chair, please? And he will read your question and you hear my answer. Please. Thank you.
Today, ordinary Muslims are suffering by the cruelty and brutality of orthodox mullah. Could you please explain what your Jamaat is doing morally and practically?
See, those who suffer at the hands of the so-called orthodox mullahs you mentioned, they do it with their own free will. And it is a strange dilemma which the world of Islam is facing today, but there are contradictions in terms. All such people accuse the mullahs for so many troubles in Islam, yet they follow the mullah of their own brand, at least in those areas where they excite them against other sects and excite them to a degree where they even indulge in bloodshed, violence, arson, loot, whatever you call it, in the name of God. Now these are the common people themselves who commit these crimes at the bidding of their mullahs. So they have a part to play in it. They have a responsibility in this. You can't call them innocent people, because the mullahs would be deprived of any part of evil actions if he is not supported by his own following in all the evil designs which he has for them. So I don't agree with the proposition that the common poor Muslim masses are suffering at the hands of the mullah. They are doing it themselves with full consciousness, because when they respond to the mullah, they always respond to him in his evil intentions. When the mullah speaks of goodness, they do not respond to him. For instance, if all the mullahs of Pakistan join hands together to wage a holy war against lies, against theft, against murder, they will not be listened to by the masses. If the same mullahs tell them to violate the principles of justice and human right by working them up against some Christians, a Christian village for instance, the entire city would rally round this call of evil and burn the whole village and kill the women and children and destroy the peace, not only of that village, but Christians all around. I'm referring to this because if I speak of Ahmadis, what's being done to Ahmadis, I would become a party. But here I'm a neutral observer. What I'm talking about did happen in Pakistan, in Nerokara. All those who participated in this crime, and most violent and dastardly crime, whenever they were called to acts of goodness by the same mullahs, they never responded. And yet you refer to them as honest, innocent masses? Most certainly they are not. This is why the Holy Quran speaks of a situation in the hereafter where the so-called religious leaders and their followers would dispute the issue of who has genuinely earned this punishment and who has not. The common people, according to the Quran, would blame their leaders and say, had you not been evil, we might have been spared this punishment of hell. And the response according to the Quran would be, who made you follow us in evil designs? It was your evil which ultimately prepared you for the evil deeds, which of course we called you towards, but you are free to follow us and free also not to follow us. So the punishment should be meted out to both equally, both earn. So that is why I believe that there is no such thing as innocent masses in any religion today. Thank you.
Hazur, next questioner is Mr. Firoz Ahmad from East Ham. Mr. Firoz Ahmad.
East Ham. I think correctly speaking, even H is not pronounced in the correct English phonetics. If ham part is pronounced, then it should be East Ham.
East Ham.
If it is not pronounced, then it should be Eastham.
East Ham.
That's what I think it is. Is that right? Right. No, it's not that, just that. There are syllables which are pronounced or not pronounced. Those syllables which are pronounced, there all the alphabets and the consonants or vowels are clearly pronounced. Those syllables which hang on these syllables and are not pronounced, there many vowels are dropped, many consonants are slightly changed to lesser forms. Like D can be changed into G, education, if it is not pronounced. So that is why I have been interested in the word Eastham, because many Ahmadis come from Eastham. And those who are of Pakistani origin, they always call it East Ham. Those who have been brought up here, they also refer to it as Eastham. But I think it should be Eastham. If I'm right, I don't know. Come on, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is, why do people differentiate between Muslims and Ahmadi Muslims? Even though their way of praying namaz, doing wudu, everything is the same.
Yes.
What's the difference? And one more thing, they also say that they are not Muslims, Ahmadiyas.
So ask them, why are you asking me? What right have you got? When you hear them tell you something which you take seriously,
Yeah.
as a genuine cause for them to declare us out of the pale of Islam, then come to me and I'll answer that question. But if you want me to tell you both sides here, briefly I can tell you. First of all, they all of them have joined hands against Ahmadiyyat only on the issue of an imam created by God. Between themselves, they have been fighting with each other, they are declaring each other not Muslim, and kafir and pakka kafir or less pakka kafir. But these divisions and these splits have always been highlighted in the history of Islam. The moment Ahmadiyyat came into being, what special thing happened which they do not share? They do not share the claim that an imam, a religious leader by God, has been appointed in them. And when they follow ordinary mullahs, they are just one of so many. But when somebody rises to claim that the promised reformer who was predicted by Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have appeared in Islam in the latter days, he has come, then it is against him that they unite. And this is the history of religion right from the times immemorial. Whenever somebody claims to be from God, the prevailing sects of that religion from which he rises always join forces against him. What happened at the time of Jesus Christ? What was wrong with his claim? that the society